What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I thought it would be fun for me to show you one of my many talents and passions, which is cutting curly hair and giving advice and just giving people makeovers and talking to them about their hair. So this is a pretty old video, but I really want to just do more hair content. I just want to do more content where I show you guys how I transform other people's hair. So this is one of my Dutch clients, and this is also, as you can see, my old home salon back in Amsterdam. Now I have a salon here in California, Los Angeles. So I'm starting out with my lovely client. Her hair is super long. I forgot how long I believe this was her first haircut in years, if I'm not mistaken. This is a while ago, but I'm starting out with finger detangling her hair a little bit, just because my bowl in the back, as you can see, the black bowl in the back is not the deepest. So I want to make sure that her hair doesn't get even more tangly when I wash it. So that's what I'm doing here, just very gently finger detangling. And while I finger detangle, I talk to my clients about what their wishes are, how we can get them there. I really focus on taking in every curl pattern on her hair. I check if she has 2, 3, 4 curl patterns, which is very common and very normal. I ask if she dyes her hair, if she wears it straight. All these factors are super important for me to know in order to know if I want to give her a wet cut or a dry cut. For example, if someone does straighten their hair more often, I don't necessarily recommend getting a curly cut, a dry cut, because the cut will not look as sharp and neat and precise. But my client here, she doesn't wear her hair straight at all. Thank God. Look at her beautiful curls. So a dry cut is perfect for her. Now, I also wouldn't necessarily recommend a wet cut on someone that has two completely different textures, like myself, and I have more clients who have that, where they have a really curly texture on the bottom or on the top of their head, and they have a really loose texture. If you cut that wet, one texture is going to curl up way more than the other. So it's very important for me to do this assessment before I actually wet the hair, cut the hair. I want to get to know the curl patterns. I want to get to know the hair in its dry state and in its wet state. So after we do that, I wash her hair. Her hair is so beautiful. As you can see, she did dye her hair. After I wash her hair, I like to put in a little bit of my favorite product. This is the 𝐤𝐬𝐲 Green Curls Curl Activator. Unfortunately, it's only available in the Netherlands or Europe. I'm not sure, but it's not available in the States, which I'm very sad about. It's one of my favorites. I like to put on a little bit before I even detangle, just because it softens up the hair so much. I detangle with a tangle teaser, guys. Don't ever detangle your hair with a Denman brush. A Denman brush is meant for styling, and a tangle teaser is meant for detangling. So I'm very carefully detangling her beautiful hair from ends to roots. Always be patient. I like to split the hair in 4 or 6 sections depending on how bad the tangles are. Her hair was not that tangly since I did finger detangle a little bit already. I'm just detangling. I always make sure that I'm not hurting my clients and that I'm taking my time. I always like to take more time for my clients. My curly cuts tend to take me about 2.5 hours, so I make sure that I have enough time for everyone who sits in my chair. I never want my clients to feel rushed or not taken care of. When I have my clients, I only do one at a time, and I make sure that all my attention is on them so I can answer any questions and make sure they just feel comfortable. My experience as a young girl, as a young curly girl going to the hair salon, I always felt neglected and not heard, not seen. It was always a traumatic experience, so I really want to avoid that from happening. Being in my chair has to be like a gift, like a party. I want you to look forward to coming to my salon and to getting your service done. And honestly, I really do miss my Dutch clients because I feel like so many clients became friends, and I miss you guys so much. Anyway, my clients here in LA are amazing too. I'm not complaining. I miss you guys so much. After detangling, I move on to styling. So this is where you will see me use the Denman brush, which is the most used, most common curly brush. You might have seen it on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. This is how I style the hair. I have a 7-row Denman brush. As you can see, I like to brush the hair away from the roots towards the ceiling. That's how I make sure that the hair is not stuck to the scalp. And when I get to diffusing after this part, I really get that curl pattern from the root. That's what I like about brushing up. Now, you'll see a lot of people brushing and scrunching at the same time. I'm not doing that just yet. I like to brush and then place the hair because I'm still going to give her a little bit of a trim while her hair is wet. I only do this if the curl pattern isn't too tight. For my type 4 curly girlies, I would not cut wet. I would only cut dry or stretched, and I always recommend it that way just because type 4 is way more curly. It just shrinks up more, so you don't really see what you're doing. You want to make sure that you see what you're cutting. So same with styling. I take small sections, I take small rows. They don't have to be perfect. I just make sure that the hair is properly detangled beforehand. Now, if I do run into a couple of tangles and knots, I gently detangle with the Denman, but I'm not fully detangling. As you saw before, I used my tangle teaser first to detangle. This is just the styling process, which is one of my favorite brushes to use on my clients. It really gives them that beautiful separated curl look, and it's just awesome. I love my Denman, can never live without it. After styling with the Denman brush, I move on to the cutting. I like to cut wet when my clients are turned upside down. That's how I can see where the layers will fall and where the length will fall. There are so many different techniques to cutting curly hair, and I kind of just came up with my own technique. I did go to school for hair and makeup, and I also took a couple of courses and some curly courses. And as a curly hairstylist, you have to find your own, or as a hairstylist in general, you have to find your own technique, your own style. You also have to listen to your clients. Not everybody loves big curly hair. So having that conversation when your client sits in your chair is just super important. So I make sure that I understand my clients' needs and wishes. I have many clients that love big hair, like my client right now, but I also have a lot of clients that don't love big hair. They just want their hair more down, more subtle, more in the wavy state. So there's so many different ways to style curly hair and to dry it. I think we can have the best of all worlds. So on to diffusing. I like to use my Dyson diffuser. What I love about this diffuser is that when you have it on the highest air and the highest heat, there will be no frizz. With all my other hair dryers, there is a lot of frizz and hair is flying. With my Dyson, that doesn't happen. Now, I like to switch between medium, hot and cool air depending on my client's texture, depending on my client's thickness, if they have a lot of damage. It all depends. So right now I have my heat on high, I believe, and then I will switch to medium, and then at the end I will use a little bit of cool air to set the hair. This is where you will really see the curls come to life, and this also takes the longest, so you just gotta be patient. I always like to ask my clients if they mind shrinkage. If they do mind shrinkage, I won't place the hair into the diffuser, but I will hover over the hair with my blow dryer instead of placing the hair inside of the diffuser. As you can see with my client here, I place her hair inside of the diffuser and I bring it all the way up to her scalp so that we really get that curl pattern from the roots. She doesn't mind shrinkage at all because her hair always stretches over the days. So she likes big voluminous hair, and that's exactly what I'm giving her. Being patient with diffusing and not touching the hair too much is very important if you don't like too much frizz. If you don't care for frizz, then go ahead and touch your hair as much as you want. As you can see, I try to not touch the hair and shake the hair too much with my hands. I just like to place the hair gently into the diffuser so that I can really get all those angles and bring it up to the root for the ultimate curl pattern. Once my client is about 50% dry, I like to have them back in my chair and leaning down so that I can really get to the nape area. As you can see, I am lifting up the hair gently and making sure that everything is dry. Now, it's very important that you dry all of the hair before you start scrunching out the cast and before you start fluffing out. I like to go in and cut before I do the fluffing out and everything, but I do want to make sure that the hair is completely dry. Look at those beautiful curls. Her hair is so beautiful. So now that her hair is completely dry, the hair is a little bit stiff just because there is a little bit of a gel cast. I'm just going through it with my fingers to make sure that her hair is completely dry, and then I like to place her hair. I like to keep her in the same position so I can really cut curl by curl, especially for those front pieces. I like to grab all the curls and just cut curl by curl and make sure that I get all those dead ends because she hadn't had a cut in years. So we're going to make sure that we really get all those dead ends, the drier ends. She also had some color, so we want to make sure that her hair is healthy, full of life, and nicely cut in layers. I absolutely love a custom curly cut. This is my passion. I feel like it's in my hands, it's in my fingers. I feel like this is just one of the talents that just come naturally to me. I love watching my clients flip their hair back and seeing the result and just either crying or being extremely happy. And I absolutely love making people happy, and what better way than making people happy with making their hair beautiful, especially with curly hair, since there are not a lot of people that know how to do it. I feel like it's just an extra. People really value when you listen to them and when you give them the end result that they were looking for and they were hoping for. My client really wanted to keep her length, so I'm trying to not take off too much of her length, but whatever is necessary. Another important thing is to not forget the nape of the hair. The nape is often shorter and you want to make sure that you get all those little pieces. I always have my clients flip back, flip forward. I want to see the hair from every angle and make sure that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And this is the end result, guys. Look at those beautiful curls. She was so happy. I was happy. I loved the outcome. We were both very happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more of these curly makeovers. I love doing these. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.